Langsung saja guys, sorry telat dikit kita telat dikit guys. Sabar. Dah. Live ya. Suara dada bang.
Larinya kemana kira-kira Riz?
Valen kayak.
Valen. Only Valen gak ada opsi lain nih.
Karena emang power juga kan.
Oke.
Ngopi EV bagus. Buat bannya juga bagus. Mungkin kemarin Moreno sempat terlalu maksa Valen, tapi komposisi musuh nggak yang enak juga itu loh buat ini.
Kalau Faramis gimana?
Kalau Faramis ya oke juga sih buat tim kanan. Faramis Alpha.
Karena ada Nathan,
Bisa
ada
nggak
Alpha
buat
Pope,
sekarang di
jadi
TikTok?
kayak
Coba.
buat nge-cover kayaknya nggak buruk-buruk banget
Masih
sih.
nggak bisa bro.
Tapi
Udah
jujur
lah
gua
kita
kurang
lah di
kurang
aja ya
setuju
teman-teman
sih
ya.
sebenarnya. Kalau nggak kehabisan
Ya,
hero ya.
izin lah
Faramis
di
gua
ET,
nggak setuju.
teman-teman.
Kenapa? Karena Gift, Void Crystal itu gampang banget sumpah ilangin mode dari Netherlands.
Oke. Mungkin kita
Yang
tahu
di ET
juga ya
selamat
bahwa ini
datang.
untuk menghilangkan Faramis. Tapi Harit, ketika Iron Shiki kemarin bermain dengan Harit, Coach Raceboy mungkin ada komentar sedikit?
Nggak, kalau soal ngomongin Harit, ini kayaknya dua-duanya sih. Haritnya lagi kurang mungkin di playoff ini ya. Di regular emang mereka lagi gendong-gendong lah pakai Harit. Cuman dari win rate-nya dua tim ini kalau pakai lagi Harit, dia lagi jelek. Mungkin ya lepas aja lah Harit, kasih aja.
Berarti ini lumayan buang band ya kalau menurut Faris.
Iya.
Dan Valentina sesuai prediksi DNA Bigetronnya masih nempel.
Anaknya sendiri, susah kalau ada kayak gitu, nggak bakal lepas soalnya.
Tapi udah high loss. Jawaban apa nih terakhir untuk Iron Shiki?
Ixia.
Ixia high loss.
Kalian suka dengan pilihan ini?
Lumayan oke. Ixia Yif ini bisa dibilang draft yang pernah dibawakan juga sama Araki Hoshi waktu di regular season. Dan pertanyaannya coach, Lolita muncul nggak atau nggak sama sekali? Tapi Rafael Alpha, konveks sedikit nih. Waktu restream MPL Filipina,
Bener.
aku sama Coach Raceboy itu yang paling suka.
Nah
untuk
kan
draft
kalau
ini.
MPL ID nge-like kan.
Sama Aurora.
Blacklist sama
Izinnya
Aurora.
temen-temennya
Tapi
MPL
nanti
ID
di
tuh
game
nge-like tuh.
Sama waktunya prediction dari para panelis,
Iya.
Lim Kocul,
Gua tim Liquid.
Baris Reservoir.
Oh
Komposisinya
pak,
bagus
bener
Liquid.
kan?
Oke.
Emang bermasalah di dianya. Si Kocak. Ya kita nonton sini ya.
And gentlemen, two debut picks for the
sini
first
nggak patah-patah kan?
game here in
Oh.
the lower bracket finals.
Percaya sekarang,
Now,
hah?
gonna throw it over to our
Percaya?
captains for game
Nge-like
number
kan?
one.
Udah dibilang.
There is no gray here. It's black and white. It's M6 or
Terlalu
home.
rame soalnya
It's
servernya pak.
now or never for these two teams.
Padahal di sini gue cuma lagi live di YT doang loh.
There's
Nggak TikTok
nothing
tuh.
that could.
Oke, selamat datang ramaikan yuk, tap share like teman-temannya. Let's go. Dukung siapa kalian? Halo dok. Halo juga.
They just gotta show to the world who's better. Rafaela convinced Gani. The Ixia convinced Cole.
Belum tebak draft pick dulu ya, belum tebak draft pick ya. Soalnya tadi gue telat ya. Buru-buru nih. Habis kejar konten juga, Pak. Tapi nggak usah pakai topeng-topengan, Pak. Ini secara draft nih, gue lihat kiri. Sial, Koro. Supposed to be secara draft kanan yang megang turtle. Lebih ke draft mana dok? Gua sih liatnya draft kanan lebih oke.
there is nothing
secara ini ya, secara team fight ya.
on the Valentina.
Draft
Maybe he wants
kanan
to get
lebih
the
oke.
stacks going. The basic attacks we talked about Moreno, he has been able to build the Stardom site, and now he
Draft kanan
goes
lebih
for the
oke
Warcry as
secara
well.
team fight.
But one thing that is kind of interesting to see from Moreno.
Super Ken with the speed of Alpha
Oke,
already locking
Turtle-nya
Fabian down. The guy who went knocked there, Fabian will fall.
Sesuai
Super Ken.
perkataan gua apa? Turtle dipegang siapa? Biar kan? Waduh, win rate gua 100 win rate gua 80% nih. Baru salah sekali nih, Pak. Megang nih. Biar megang nih Turtle-nya. Alpha strong banget, Pak, kalau buat Turtle gitu-gitu. Rafa juga bisa buat gantiin Mateo soalnya kan. Jadi nggak harus terpaku atau fokus sama Mateo. Super Ken baru mulai aja, buset! Luas Ken! Garang banget dah. Digendong gini bro, Siki. Eman maksud gua. Siki lagi. Eman digendong gini bro. Facecam-nya pindahin ke bawah dong. Oh iya, oke.
Scary now for Look at ID, but again,
by the way, kalau kok jadi game yang ini? By the way, kalau kalian mau donate ada di link TikTok gue ya atau IG gue ya. Mau donate, misalnya mau request apa, donate ada di sana. Oke, link TikTok sama IG gue. Oke, link donate di sana.
Unable to compete with the retribution.
They better thank God that Moreno is not level 4 just yet, just now, but that was interesting. Fabian's gonna lose that purple buff against Eternal for Pikachu and Alpha, so there is still some counterplay there from Pikachu and Alpha as they're up 1.2k gold lead. Talent prediction by GoPay. Mr. Realize, you're going for the cavalry.
Yo, I mean, these guys, yeah, of course, mental block and all that stuff that people have been talking about, but I just want to see them kind of succeed.
Teman-teman pada dukung siapa nih teman-teman nih?
Fair play to Bigtron as well.
Pada dukung siapa nih?
These are players that are also waiting for the time to
tapi
go
gue
to the
sampai jam
stage, but then again, Team Liquid ID,
7.45 cabut guys, ada urusan gua. Kita tapi kalau final gue bakal full buat kalian. Janji, makanya ramein teman-teman, tap share like makanya. Oke, Eman. Man. Eman pick off. Eman sih emang jago solo pick off ya. Gila Eman. Eman, E-nya apa? E-nya itu adalah early guys. Solo pick off-nya jago nih orang.
The man on a mission, Eman.
Yikes, we talked about the Exia being that ranged pick that
ini
can
mah
just negate the
game 1 pegang BTR dah ini mah kalau gini. Lu pakai Pove lagi, Xia gimana coba? Selamatnya. Ada Pove begindang bro. Ada Valen lagi bisa pakai hit. Kanan lah, ya nggak sih? Kalau udah sering nonton gue udah pasti pegang kanan bro. Salah dua. Soalnya jelas, kelihatan jelas itu. Kelihatan jelas teman-teman.
First item for Aaron Shiki, something to
ya.
look for
Kelihatan jelas.
idea now. Second total fight. 4 people already.
Super Luke finding 2. Now the real revelation from Moreno, but it's going to be the full barrage as well. Fabian winning the retreat battle. Moreno going to be caught very, very low. Witty with a circling eagle knocks him up, but he's still going to be able to survive with the holy healing. Iman rotating over. Got enough damage to take them down.
Oke, dibalikin ini tapi tenang. Tapi masih BTR pegang jauh, bro.
Super Luke might have the Iran
Gokil
experience.
juga. Liquid nih mainnya ganas gini ya, Pak.
What is he gonna do if he jumps in?
That's the problem, right? There is a lot of zoning from Team Liquid ID. If you want to jump as Super Loop, number 1, there's the real world manipulation. Number 2, there's the deadly catch. And number 3, Aaron Shiki is just chilling on his chair in the back, popping the full barrage to just hit into the players of Bigatron Alpha, and that will be the problem. The question is how they can jump into Aaron Shiki. That will be the main focus of Bigatron Alpha. But around in the top side with the high loss, he will just tank this out. Supercan might be in trouble.
Gue bisa coret-coret ya, gue bakal jelasin ke kalian.
Glorious pathway already used up already. He with the holy healing. This is why it was picked up. The anti-slow.
The anti-slow to counter the slow from Yif, and to remind you all that these two heroes, Yif and Atan, has been so far the heroes of MPL Indonesia Playoff Season 14, and they are gonna actually trade it out, battle it out, and Eman once again pull the trigger.
In a 1v1, a full barrage will land a flicker forward, almost a solo kill. Eman still able to survive, Key very low, forced to use the flicker and burn it away. 2 gold lanes with the flicker, but Key will lose his as well. Moreno walking up top. providing cover for BTR's tier 1.
That was scary. Aranshiki popped the full barrage, was able to solo kill, or rather close to solo kill the players of Bigtron Alpha, Iman, but now the glorious pathway.
And the Holy Baptism.
Okay, just to give them a little bit of scare there, because on Alpha right now they have some turrets. Also does the TLID. The third turtle objective. This is gonna be tough for both teams. I feel like TLID, that occasion just now, they were actually behind and they were able to actually take it. So, what's gonna happen here this time around?
I'm thinking of maybe Moreno, who will really become a menace when the game progresses, because he will be the one who will probably catch
fighting dulu, Aran megang Ken, depannya digebuk. Fighting nggak bisa, masih dapat setup tiar. Ya skill, mundur yuk. Rugi. Mending jaga tengahnya nih, tengah langsung diorong Pak.
We'll try to look for more. In the mid lane, popping entropy already, but the full barrage will surely force them back. A deadly catch stolen from Moreno, and that will be it.
Okay, that interaction realized. The guiding wind towards the full barrage, that's gonna be interesting. If they actually used it, oh man.
It has a lot of interactions that is very, very particular into the guiding wind, but now the game fact though, Sheffin.
His Ravella becomes the 81st hero to debut in MPL Indonesia Season 14 after last appearing in MPL Indonesia Season 13 by Dreams, where they suffered a defeat against Dewa. That is game fact.
Jadi kayak kalau kalian main tuh nggak apa-apa, harus kayak satu tuh stay di lane. Kayak kalau misalnya bawahnya udah menang, objek atas mau didapetin, perangnya full atas, bawah kan ngedorong soalnya. Habis dorong cabut gitu aja. Yang lain pasti bakal mirroring. Paham gak sih? Kalau ada pertanyaan tanya aja ya. Jadi nggak apa-apa tuh kayak manjangin bawah terus, tapi kalau bawahnya udah dorong cukup langsung join atas spread hari ini gitu, makanya cepet gitu loh. Jadi kayak kalau ini udah menang, kalau mereka mau coba ngambilin ini, kita udah dapat atas, jadi nggak akan rugi. Kita yang bakal ngelibas lagi, paham nggak? Jadi mereka pasti akan ngeriak balik, apalagi di sini goldnya lagi megang atas. So far paham nggak? Kalau ada pertanyaan, kalau bingung tanya aja. Ya.
Purchased by Favia just to give him that extra
terus
bit of defense.
Bawahnya main ininya mesti kiting. Ya. Jadi kalau satunya lagi main atau satunya lagi main, ini kiting di sini. Kalau throw-in nanti dimakan, Alphanya ditahan.
Iman on the bottom lane gets a tier 2, so at least it's a trade,
Kalau
but definitely not worth it.
secara perang range kayaknya menangan Ixia ya, tapi kayak kalau buat apa ya ngomongnya? Kalau buat perang buat nahan sebenarnya bagusan Nathan sih kalau menurut gua. Gimana menurut kalian komen? Kalau di YT ini penonton gua sehat Pak, nggak kontra Pak. Ada bagus ada minusnya juga sih. Akan ada yang haters juga Pak, bisa bercanda.
Make or break fight.
Circling Eagle to glorious pathway. Supercan forcing it. Right here in the midst of it all, Fabian will be able to find Supercan wins it out. Moreno and Iman still able to free hit right now as Ryan gets dealt with by in for the pursuit, but Aranshiki will continue this onslaught and the full barrage.
Yahezkiel
going into Yahezkiel, flicker forward. Moreno very low. Aaron needs one more, but doesn't have the flicker to get it. BTR saved by Supercan.
Oh, but still, surely that was TLI this win. 3 guys for BTR. For the Stallions.
Yep. Supercan. His retribution on point. There was
meleng dikit langsung.
Pushing the export against the lane, but not winning the retry battles and the objective takes. But this time around,
meleng dikit langsung hilang aja.
But take a look at how crucial Key is. The moment he dies, the slows TLID becomes so much dangerous, and then Aranshiki can just free hit from the back with the extra range that the Extra has, and Bigtron Alpha, they want to collapse.
On to Entropy, Aranshiki reload. Aran trying to go for the sandwich play right now, but it's going to be caught in a bad spot. He has the vengeance, remember, so he's going to be poked down quite well. Full barrage used up to go for
perangnya, wah kayaknya udah ditarik mundur, nggak bisa, Rafanya kiting lagi Pak. Nggak bisa, perang. Perangnya bentar, nggak bisa begitu Pak.
There you go, the favor too from Iman to further his goal, to further his
masih ada objek lain kok.
Now, BTR, it's actually leading the game in economy. I didn't really expect that. Meanwhile,
ini yang bikin Liquid tuh masuk sampai titik ini Pak. Menurut gua powernya terlalu kuat tuh. Red game-nya kayak entah kenapa mereka tuh pinter mainin ininya loh, mainin kiting perangnya loh. Ya nggak sih, setuju nggak sih kalian?
So it kind of changes my mind into
kayak
one situation.
nggak gampang ketuker, nggak lemah gitu. Mereka tuh pintar, kayak setiap kali mereka nuker ditukar lawan, mereka paksa tukar, bisa ketukar lagi. Masalahnya mereka nahan dan nuker gitu. Kalau menurut gue metanya ini adalah meta Indo ini late game-nya lebih strong sekarang. Kalau PH tuh apa ya namanya? PH juga strong sih, kitingnya juga strong sih. Cuman untuk awal kayak gue yakin PH kayak Pingkong nih, si Oni PH nih pasti bakal megang banget game awalnya. Oke, pok dikit, santai Ken. Langsung dibuka, tarik mundur. Kecepatan gak sih dia masuknya? Kenapa dia majuin itu ya?
Surely Nampila Indonesia playoffs right now as they are going to move on towards the mid lane. They're gonna take a lot of things from Pikachu and Alpha.
Yeah, that's also attack, right? Because the problem of Full Barrage with Ixia is that you can't really gap close. Once you pop the Full Barrage, you're set in stone unless you have a flicker. With the Guiding Wind, it enables you to gap close when animate Moreno!
Forcing the flicker out before the Lord fight. Massive win for
Team
Liquid ID, and for the first time this game, they get a hold of that gold lead.
And back to my point, right? There's a lot of interactions you can use with the Guiding Wind. Again, like the Mystic Gush.
Atasnya udah kedorong rapi, pasti Theodim.
With the Guiding Wind.
Gila loh. Secara draft adalah sebenarnya megang mereka loh. Tapi eksekusinya rapian Liquid, Pak. Gimana menurut kalian tanggapan? Secara draft megang dia loh, gue pede megang ini. Tapi kayak eksekusinya rapian mereka. Gimana? Ada tanggapan nggak menurut kalian gimana?
To save or to get him closer. 2 for 2, but the Lord went to BTR. Oh my goodness, Super Ken once again being the savior of the red robots, taking 2. Those 50-50s, it's not even 50-50s.
Mati, Pak, di sini, Pak. Sorry.
Not in a favorable
Tolong mati udah Ixianya. Iya. Sorry ya teman-teman, ini gue sembari baca komennya di sini. Tebak Pak komennya. Gue lebih suka Ixia mati udah. Teamfightnya kuat soalnya dok yang kill. Enggak, kalah kanan ini cok. Ixia terbang. Ken gacor tadi maju duluan ngapain ya? Tapi menurutku iya, secara draft kanan tuh teamfightnya lebih strong kanan. Karena di sini Nathan bisa megang warnya, Alpha bisa record objek, lebih sustain, Pope bisa megangin belakang, Valentina bisa kopas shift sama Ixia, Rafa mirip-mirip sama Matilda, bisa kiting-kitingan, iya nggak? Iya kan? Setuju nggak teman-teman? Terus di komen, takutnya gue ngebug nih ET-nya. Tadi ngebug nih ET gue.
But again, it serves as
gimana
kind of
menurut
like an
gimana, guys?
anti-magic burst that gives you that extra
Kanan
shield
cuma bisa
once you're
react.
very low. And
Kanan justru gak cuma react, cuy.
how Aman is 4-0 deathless. Considering the fact that Team Liquid ID has a very solid composition.
Sama-sama bisa buka dan react, kiri pun juga bisa. Tapi secara range gue masih megang Ixia sih. Tapi kalau damage megang ini, bro.
Their late games are underlooked. But the problem is that once they have the momentum, once she can free hit from the back, that is where it becomes a problem for Bigatron Alpha. Now Bigatron Alpha, they have to think of a way on how to skip this Ixia, probably just dive into it in the back line. But again, they have to remember, they have to keep Key alive because this is
gimana tanggapan
the backbone of Bigatron Alpha to pass through the slows and the AoEs and the zoning to Liquid ID.
A pinch maneuver onto Super Ken, who has used the Spear of Alpha. The Holy Baptism coming down as well with the full barrage. Super Ken will probably lose his life. It's a full dive from the back line. Super Ken goes for Aaron. Chicky will be knocked down. He goes for Witty as well, but it's not going to be enough right now. Is
dibalikin begini, bro.
4 members deleted from Bigatron Alpha. Most improved player,
Bro,
second team.
gak bisa dibaca, man. Wah, shit, gue terlalu beda gini, man. BTR tadi, masalahnya gak, datanya iya BTR, Pak. Wah, Liquid, nanti Liquid bisa mainnya rapi banget, Pak, teamfightnya. Lightnya megang banget. bisa mematahkan data yang gue berikan ke kalian.
And 3 seconds isn't enough to make this defense happen. TLID strike first in the best of 5.
Oh
Was.
man, oh man.
Oh man, oh man.
Actually a bad early game for TLID.
Dipatahkan, bro.
Mentality. It looks like
Dipatahkan argumentasi gua. Mereka buktikan anjir. Turtle 1 udah, Turtle 2 dipegang. Goda ini, Tara dapat. Logic. Tim fight-nya juga kuat kanan. Dipatahin. Kayak tadi Ken-nya kemajuan gak sih? Momen Ken yang one-shot itu.
Unconventional picks. One.
Gimana cara baca tata? Ya ini cara gini gua ajarin ya.
But how can you stop the
Ini
slow
kita mau
when you
review
have
nggak?
a full entire
Kita mau
cavalry
review nggak?
charging
By
at
the way,
you
share juga dong temen-temen.
with their
Masa
swords and their shields?
penontonnya kalau di TikTok
and
bisa
their
sampai
boiling
3.000-an,
bloods
cok.
of youth.
Sampai 1.000,
Because on
500.
Alpha they have
Di
to
sini
beat the
12
first
doang,
game,
anjir.
and
Di
Manu
sini
looked
nggak
very
ngelag kan, tapi
sharp, deathless.
Nih. Dimulai dari
He
sini.
will lose his as well.
Sebenarnya trik ini tuh bukan trik kayak pasti kejadian 100%, tapi trik ini membaca pergerakan lawan 70%. Paham nggak? Jadi bukan kayak peramal gitu. Tapi ini
Back to back.
akurat lah, akurat. Trik gua
Well, of
akurat.
course, back-
Karena gini, logiknya kalau udah gold beda 1k aja di momen menit sekian, terus turret dan turtle itu udah di sini awal udah hancur, draft kanan juga ada late game, team fight pun kuat, itu tuh udah bisa diambil kesimpulan kayak ya kanan yang menang. Dengan kayak pertama kan tadi gue bilang match up turtle-nya bener kan yang kanan yang megang kan. Dilihat dari mana sih? Dilihat dari adanya korelasi antara Bane sama si Alpha. Dapat kan? Terus match up dari Matilda sama Rafa. Terus Valentina sama Yves dan Poveus sama Hylos. Nah, empat-empatnya ini nih sama-sama hampir mirip-mirip kuat. Tapi secara sustainable buat perang-perang lebih jangka panjang, Alpha tuh lebih strong. Ya. Dan buat perang-perang react, Pove itu lebih ini ketimbang Hylos yang nggak bakal nge-set up. Jadi mereka akan bisa set up juga bisa, nembus juga bisa. Nah, Valentina itu kan bisa kopas ultimate Yves juga. Jadi kayak powernya sama nih. Nah, terus juga adanya Rafa yang nanti akan nge-react perang keseluruhan dari tim ini nih. Dan Rafa di sini bisa nge-heal bareng-bareng, Pak. Jadi menurut gue kiting-nya juga sama-sama kuat, bahkan lebih kuat di kanan. Jadi bisa dibilang kayak dari draft ini ya, data yang diambil 70% bisa dipegang sama PTR. Makanya gue miss, salah pun salah sekali doang kalau megang yang gue bilang pengambilan turtle. Tapi gue juga agak kaget. Setelah itu kan turtle bener kan dipegang sama mereka kan. Nih. Gue jelasin bener-bener jelasin, Pak. Nah, turtle dipegang sama mereka. God beda 1,2 Kak, bawah udah hancur. Itu tuh secara logik kalau misalnya tim ini tim normal ya, bukan liquid ya. Maksudnya kayak tim YTTA ya. Ini gamenya tuh udah dipegang sama kanan cuy, udah pasti. Kayak tim Brand, tahu kan? Yang janji-janji mode playoff akan berubah. Nah, itu tuh pasti udah dipegang kanan cuy. Kalau masih pola mainnya yang kayak tim janji-janji bakal berubah di playoff itu. Ya, cuman dia beda, dia bisa ngeriak cuy, ditukar loh. Karena kitingnya rapi, mereka tahu posisi kalah, mereka tahu targeting siapa, dan mereka tahu kapan mesti maju. Dan di sini mereka mainnya tarik ulur habis-habisan, makanya perang-perangnya tuh rapi.
The full barrage will land a flicker forward, almost a solo kill. And Monster able to survive, keep very low, forced to use the flicker and burn it away.
Enggak lah, kalau detail ya gue nggak tahu lah selera orang ya, cara detail. Karena kan gue emang kalau di tim tuh gue emang bukan analis, ngomongnya apa ya, gue orang data banget lah. Makanya kalau gue misalnya ngehandle tim tuh MPL mau gue tuh tim-tim beberapa tim tuh mau gue dari segi datanya. Karena gue ngejelasin datanya tuh by bener-bener ngomong, by bener-bener ada gambaran, bukan sekedar kayak celetus doang, tapi kayak gue ngejelasin kan. Dan lo bisa react, lo bisa pikirin sendiri, betul nggak? Ya kan? Ya kan, bener kan? Maksudnya kayak gue bukan cuma sekedar ngomong doang, tapi kayak gue jelasin satu-satu, dan kalau dipikir, oh ya juga ya, bener juga ya, gitu. Nah, lo lihat di sini nih perang-perangnya nih. Jumlah orangnya liquid selalu sama dengan inisiasinya. Jadi kayak mereka ngerti main 4 mereka maju, sedangkan kalau mereka main 3 mereka pasif. Nah, tadi BTR main 3 di atas, harusnya tuh di kiting, tapi digas. Harusnya tuh ditahan sebenarnya. Nah, itu yang sebenarnya penting kalau di
They're
turnamen.
Alpha right now. They have
Paham ya?
very hard
Makin paham ya?
for Bigatron to engage, to penetrate.
Makanya teman-teman tap-tap
Cause
share-share
of
like lah.
zone
Semoga
potential
bisa
as well.
bantu kalian
You got the
lebih lah.
real world manipulation, you
Dengan
got the last insanity, and
dengan
don't forget
buang
about the
konten
deadly
seperti
catch.
ini gitu.
But I need to mention, I think there is a lot of mistakes from
Siapa
both
tahu
teams.
lanjut game 2
Against
dok.
this
Ini
game.
gue
I
mau
think
lanjut.
this is their
Ada
first
pertanyaan
game,
lagi
so
nggak?
they're
Mau nanya
actually
apa
still
nggak?
trying
Sih
to
gue
find their
jelasin.
tempo and on this top lane.
Jadi
I think it's a
cara
very
bacanya
sweet
tuh
move
kayak gitu
from the
rumusnya.
RNC
Kalau lu udah
to
paham
be
rumus
fair
gua,
to
lu
let
bisa
down
baca
let the
juga kok
opponents
draft
running
itu.
away and they can
Maksudnya
execute
siapa yang megang turtle, siapa yang megang game, lu bisa
I
kebaca.
actually want to give a little
Tapi
bit of
inget,
props to
itu
Yas
bukan
as well in this
100%.
game.
Namanya prediksi itu nggak pasti
I'm
100%.
quite
Kalau
impressed with his
100%
performance.
namanya bukan
I'm
prediksi,
actually
tapi
extremely impressed
fakta.
with his
Jadi
performance.
yang gua ajarin
Now that
kemungkinan
we've seen him in the
70%
playoffs, because this is
kejadian.
also a very
Lumayan kan
different
70%
skill
kejadian?
than we saw in the regular season. He's really stepped up, very aggressive as well. You saw on the Eve, he flickered forward, real world manipulation, able to get those final
Kalau
kills
banyak
down.
yang tahu,
That was
nge-live
also, I
pasti
think,
pada
very
pindah ke lu.
expensive, especially when it came down to the trades, right? Team Liquid had a really great
Ya,
snowball going for
pelan-pelan
them
bro,
by that
nggak bisa.
point.
Ya,
But that was actually
yang
initially
samping
a
udah
Bigatron
rajanya
alpha
bro,
game.
karena
They were the ones
konsistensi
that were
juga kan.
leading the
Sama
tempo.
goreng-goreng juga kan.
So what
Kalau
happened
gue
to
mah apa
Bigatron? Why
tuh,
did they
streamer
lose the
kecil,
gas?
dibilang nanti
First of
nggak ada
all,
piala, padahal sebenarnya
they are
piala juga
following their
ada, buka
guts
jasa
to
juga
aim for
iya.
always Aaron Shiki, not aim for the objective like Turtle before. And then they start losing
Tapi sebenarnya
because
lebih hebat lah
Bovian
pencapaiannya.
already got the Turtle, already got the
Gue
objective
respect
by the
guys, kalau
turret itself.
memang lebih hebat ya, gue
And it's
bilang lebih
get
hebat pencapaiannya.
dangerous for Bigatron because
Tapi gue nggak
when
seneng
they
aja
did
kalau
ID got
dibilang
the power
gue nggak
spike,
ngomong tanpa
everything's
dasar pak.
I agree.
Padahal
Power
sebenarnya gue
spike.
nebak,
Right,
beneran
mid-game
nebak
power
kan.
spike is the way
Nge-coaching
that
juga beneran
TLID
nge-coaching,
handles
ya
it. They know
kali,
that
masa-
early, yeah, okay.
Coachingnya ngasal-ngasalan tapi dipakai sama pemerintah.
Be aggressive in the early. They're strong, level 2 with
Kan dipakai di pewarna kemarin buat buat
hey,
ini apa
Bane
atlet
after what?
Asia nanti.
War X after Exia gets
Jadi selera kalian aja lah, nonton siapa, gue nggak maksa. Ya. Gua harap streamer kecil ini bisa membantu kalian ke depannya. Ya.
3 members
Mau
of
nanya-nanya
TLID.
aja.
Domination.
Let's go back there. Let's go back. So if we're talking about power spikes, was there something that Bigatron Alpha could have done differently?
Bahkan sebenarnya
I think for if
di
they
sini
want
muncul
to
nggak sih
do it like
kalau
a normal
kalau
game,
tim fight
they can
keseluruhan
move to the
persentase menangnya
objective.
gimana?
Like for the turtle, like
Di
I
sini
know
nggak
put
dimunculin
the
ya?
pressure on the opponents is good, especially for Team Liquid ID. Because Vavian, if they got the space, Vavian can move everywhere, can put the pressure on the Bigatron Alpha. But they try to put the pressure on the wrong person because they put the Aaron Shiki, but they have Widdy, they have
Gua mau
ES skill who
live
can
di
cover
IG,
Aaron Shiki on
narik
mid to
orang-orang.
late game. That's why Aaron Shiki already got the 2 items, 3 items, and then using the full barrage, everything is very painful.
I honestly think, right? I'm really thinking. I see your point, but I think it's a tough draft to execute in that late game. Sure, you have the Natan. I thought the Rafaela was a game changer. That convinced me that Bigatron will take the dub. But seeing the big picture, in hindsight, yeah, I forgot about the glorious path. I forgot about the deadly catch that potentially overload the composition of Bigatron Alpha.
And don't forget about the choice that Aaron makes for the battle spell. He's not using Revitalize, he's using the Vengeance. So every time Aaron want to use the End Trophy, trying to hit Aaron as the frontliner, the damage will bounce back to him.
Yeah.
Yang gue sembari
Right.
IG
So
guys.
that the vengeance
Menarik,
plays a part there, and I want to use this time to we know TLID likes to they're addicted to the rush, but in the game number 1, oh guys, you guys can see it. They're addicted to the range. The range was also a huge theme in that first game, right? I mean, deadly catch. It's it's far.
Halo guys, gue lagi live di YT Dokter MLBB. Kita lagi nobar, gue bakal jelasin datanya ke kalian. Kalian pindah aja ke YT Dokter MLBB.
Like I said,
YT Dokter MLBB ini gue lagi live di ini.
So it's
Gue
not
lagi live
just
buat kalian
addicted
loh.
to the rush.
Oh.
They're addicted to the range.
Langsung aja ke YT
Game on.
Dokter MLBB. YT Dokter MLBB.
So this is
Mampir
good,
ke sana
right? This
guys
is
langsung.
good because
Gua
now
live di
we
sana YT
have
Dokter
answers to some
MLBB ya.
questions that we had.
Langsung
And
saja
one was
live
about
di
the
sana
mentality of
YT
TLID
Dokter
going into
MLBB.
this match.
Ya.
It looked like in
Langsung
game number
saja
one they
gue
were
lagi
very
restream
confident,
guys.
and
Gue
also
lagi
they started
spill datanya di
exploring
sana.
new
Langsung ke
things.
YT
So,
Dokter MLBB.
maybe they have
Prediksinya
more
prediksi gue megang
plans ahead
Liquid.
because I don't know, we'll see, right? Because
Ya.
the last time they
Harusnya
met
megang
against
Liquid
Bigetron, they
bisa.
did pull a new hero out. They
Ini
pulled
masih
in a
BO5
Hilda
nggak kenanya?
in the EXP lane.
Yes, sir.
Now
Oh,
it
setuju,
turns
cuy.
out Aaron Shiki plays the Ixia.
Oke, ini udah bukan BO5 cuy, BO.
Maybe the synergy of Hylos and
Ini
Matilda.
bukan BO5, match 7 nih.
It's scary to
And
see.
yeah, finally
Bisa,
TLID
menurut gue
gets
bisa.
the Hylos back. Finally.
The cavalry, right? It's within their identity. We can't deny it.
Menurut gue bisa 4-2
And
sih.
yeah, hopefully this is not their only card.
By the way, gue lagi
that
di
they
YT Dokter
Because, again,
MLB,
if
gue
they
lagi
win
restream
this
di sana teman-teman.
series,
Oke, gue lagi restream di
There's still
sana.
RQ.
Kalau
And if
kalian nanya,
RQ with RQ,
Bang,
they know
live-nya di mana?
it's within
YT
their radar. It's
Dokter
going to be very
MLB,
hard for
YouTube
you
Dokter
to defeat an
MLB,
RQ. So let's see here.
YouTube
TLID,
Dokter MLB.
Ixia,
Ya, gue
Matilda.
lagi live di sana teman-teman.
Check.
Yep.
Ramaikan,
Natan,
ramaikan.
Pryo,
Gue lagi
question
di
mark game
YouTube
2.
Dokter MLBB.
I think still on
Ya, jadi
Pryo
kalian
because
kalau misalnya gua restream,
using
ya,
against
gua
like
restream di sana.
the
Prediksi
three
skor
synergy,
4-2
Matilda,
guys.
Hylos, and the Ixia, you need to make sure that the opponent is not using any heroes that can dive it into the backline.
BO5 ya?
Because when it
Bukan
dives into the
BO7,
backline,
itu
especially
match
when he
7,
already
Pak,
used the flicker,
tulisannya.
when
Ya.
Matilda already hits
YT-nya
hiding
Dokter
him,
MLBB
you think
teman-teman.
that
YT
guiding win,
Dokter
it's gonna be dangerous for
MLBB,
Ixia.
YouTube Dokter
Because Ixia
MLBB,
is
gua
very
lagi restream di
vulnerable.
sana, oke?
That's why
Jadi
it
mampir
will
ke
get
sana,
easily crushed.
langsung ke YouTube Dokter MLBB,
Need to pop
gue lagi
if the
restream.
assassins comes to the
Lagi
backline.
restream di
That's
sana.
where I feel
YouTube
like
Dokter
the
MLBB,
high
gua
loss,
lagi
the
restream di
Bane
sana, oke?
plays a part,
Gua
right?
lagi
Because it will,
jelasin
there's a potential
draft
for
dan
the
data-datanya
other
buat kalian.
opponents
Jadi
to
langsung
go
saja
back,
kita ketemu di
disengage.
sana, oke?
So maybe, yeah. the
Alice
Okay, okay,
from
okay, okay.
Supercan?
Yeah, I mean this is
Gua mau
if
pin dulu
the
nih.
Ixia gets picked again though.
That's
Right?
why it's
It
very
was
conditional.
Very, very conditional because that was one of the last picks that TLID actually brought onto the table. That's why I feel like Bigetron Alpha, they were caught in a position where, okay, we have to choose. Do we go for Rafaela that will enable us to get out of these situations, or do we choose something with harder CC, like, you know, like maybe, I know this is kind of crazy, the Tigreal was banned, but an Atlas that can kind of stop the momentum that TLID were to bring. Do you think if they chose a harder
Lagi
setter
live di YouTube
roamer,
Dokter
that
MLBB
things could have been
teman-teman.
different in the
Selamat
team
datang
fights?
BO5.
That's
Oh
why.
ya udah ke
Back
BO5
to the,
berarti skornya
statement
eh,
before we start the match.
harusnya
Over-
3-1 TLID.
Because on a paper, Rafaela can
Kenapa gua
counter a
pakai-
lot of slow CC heroes.
Yeah, so
but,
the Eve and stuff.
But look
Oke,
at the
lagi
XP lane.
lagi
They
live
are
di YouTube
using
Dokter
Obvious.
MLBB ya
Obvious and
teman-teman.
Rafaela is
Selamat
not a good
datang
synergy.
semuanya.
It's
1
like
menitan
they
lagi kita
are
tebak
not
di sana. Oke,
like
langsung
meant
saja.
to be
Oke.
on the same team.
Oke,
because
oke.
he's gonna be on the front line. He will not gonna get the effect of Rafaela healing, Rafaela ultimate, and that's why I think it's a little bit misdraft from them, and they lack of CC.
Yes.
Yeah, again, this is very, very intelligent stuff there, but I want to touch on the question there. Tigreal band, if you really think about it, what's a hard setup for the roam? For
Yang
the side of
nanya-nanya di
Bigetron
sini,
Alpha,
gue
right?
lagi
With
live
Tigreal
di
band
YouTube
out.
Dokter
We have
MLBB, pindah ke
Atlas,
sana aja,
Kufra,
oke?
Grok.
Oke, pindah ke sana aja. Ya.
I don't want to say this. This is something you mentioned. I wouldn't consider it.
The tree?
The tree.
The tree,
Yeah.
right. I like it, but there's a Bane that can
All right.
put you out of position.
Okay, we'll continue this discussion off screen and maybe come to you with a conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to throw it over to our host first.
Udah
before we get
12k
to
yang
game
nonton tuh
number
bang,
2.
alhamdulillah. 12k, 12 orang anjay. Amin, semoga bisa 12k. Aduh.
Dan kita melihat bahwa
Amin banget,
satu
gue
poin
rajin-rajin
sudah
terus dah.
didapatkan dengan begitu yakin.
Betul
By
sekali
the way,
Bude,
kalau kalian
tapi
mau donasi
sebelumnya
ada
aku
di
mau tes
link
dulu
TikTok
Eldorado
dan IG
Bandung,
Dokter
mana
MLBB ya.
suaranya?
Masih pada semangat pastinya ini baru satu game.
Betul sekali Bude dan
Lagi
tidak
live di
terasa
YouTube Dokter
sekali
MLBB,
ya
teman-teman, pindah aja ke
atmosfernya
sana.
begitu luar biasa sampai memanaskan Bandung yang begitu dingin nih Bude, karena energi yang luar biasa daripada super fans. Mungkin kita tes juga kali ya, Biget Troopers mana suaranya?
Biget Troopers.
Jangan mau kalah. Mana semangat dari The Cavalry?
Puit gue mana ya? Puit gue.
Woohoo! pasti lagi menunggu-nunggu karena memang benar kedua tim ingin mencetak sejarah baru menjadi wakil Indonesia di M-Series World Championship. M6 di depan mata, hanya satu tiket saja untuk kedua tim ini.
Langsung aja ke live dulu makanya WDPA ya.
Betul sekali, karena hari ini kita akan tahu siapa yang akan melaju.
Ayo yang di YT diramein guys teman-teman yang di YT.
Dan ngomongin soal pemirsa MPL juga nih Bude, bahwa kita juga pastinya ingin mengapresiasi karena ada banyak sejarah baru yang terukir di MPL Indonesia, terutama di season 14 ini.
Kalau sama backgroundnya,
karena bukan hanya para tim yang mencetak sejarah dan mencetak sesuatu yang baru.
Nah ya, udah pas ya.
Batas.
Udah pas ya.
Di sini kita MPL Indonesia dan juga MPL secara global.
Lagi live di YT Dokter MLBB teman-teman. Langsung saja mampir ke sana
baru.
Ya. Dok, gimana caranya
kita sudah mencetak sejarah yang sangat membanggakan bagi skena esports Indonesia. Karena MPL kini telah menjadi seri esports pertama yang berhasil mencapai watch time lebih dari 1 miliar watch time.
Wah, 1 miliar cuy.
Dan pastinya Bude tidak sampai
1 miliar dong.
Saja, karena untuk MPL Indonesia dalam 3 season berturut-turut
gelo beginang cuy.
Berhasil juga memecahkan rekor hingga 100 juta jam penayangan.
Gede banget itu.
Jadi kalau tadi udah 1
Kang, apa Kang?
Lalu ada 100 juta jam penayangan. Banyak banget yang udah kita dapatkan, tapi belum berhenti di situ.
1M dibagi berapa ya?
MPL Indonesia Season 14.
Apa 1M apa hadiahnya? Lu nanya apa nih 1M apa?
Yang baru, karena saat ini kita telah mencapai 2.083.274 big viewers.
Kelas gede loh itu.
Wah, sebentar lagi hampir 3 juta ya Bude.
Gede loh itu.
Ini pencapaian yang luar biasa sekali. Pastinya kita berterima kasih sebesar-besarnya terutama kepada para super fans yang selalu setia ya menantikan
mending mie ayam gak bang?
Kesayangannya untuk
mending nonton stream gua.
Indonesia.
Benar, rekor sudah kita dapatkan bukan hanya
Kang, gua mau ikut kelas dong, gaskan di link deskripsi IG gua teman-teman.
Dan betapa bangganya kita akan kesulitan dari sobat Mobile Legends yang ada di luar
makanya,
sana
guys,
dan juga pastinya yang ada di sini.
ETTA, mending kita main game apa? Mobile Legends aja bro, bisa jadi apa? Bisa dapetin kerjaan juga. Bisa menafkahi keluarga. Menjanjikan. Ada akademinya Dokter MLBB Academy ya. Ada juga akademi lainnya juga. Ada juga pro competitive scenes-nya. Jadi buat kalian yang bilang main game itu merugikan dan buang waktu, bukti menjadi nyata. Semua orang berubah nasib gara-gara Mobile Legends.
Kelas. Bisa memajukan bangsa.
Benar, jadi tidak hanya dari skena Indonesia saja, tapi
halo bang,
secara global.
halo bro.
Betul sekali Bude. Dan karena itu dia, langsung saja, karena tadi pendampingannya sudah menegangkan, kita akan langsung simak bagaimana panelis kita melihat hal ini. Silakan panelis take over.
Oke. Guys, yang gini guys. Gue lagi live di ET Dokter MLBB, YouTube Dokter MLBB. Kalau kalian misalnya mau datang ke sana, mampir, kita analisis di sana. TikTok gue lagi kena ban. Jadi gue disuruh grinding YouTube. Gak maling bro, kerja dulu bro. Ya kali, grand final begini gak di-review.
Hopefully we can break in new barriers tomorrow and break new barriers for next season.
Minta ilmunya bang.
Kalau
live aja, ini lagi live gue kasih ilmunya di sana.
So let's continue to break records, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for your support.
You're all amazing, man.
Always the best.
We love you and we know you love us.
Mr. John, Sarah, Michelle, we see you in the live chat. Anyway, let's go back.
Masih
into
promo
this.
nggak sih,
Top 5
Kang?
lords
Masih
secured around the
masih
world.
banget.
Wow.
Deket rumah gua bang, di Lem bang.
Really?
Bang, teori gua
Fabian,
setiap tim di
Number
Ramadan
1 Lord
e-sport
secured at
selalu menang.
52. We have Demon
Kayak
Kite
Hazel sama
from
Catfoot
MPL PH 52.
sama Reza Choi
We have
Onyx
Kyle
sih.
Teasy from MPL PH at 49.
Siapa
Super
tuh?
Ken.
Dokter
Bigatron from
Muda
MPL ID
System, nontonin
49
Dokter
and
MLBB, Pak.
Kyrie from MPL ID at 44.
Bang,
What do we
OT
think
dikit
about
boleh
these,
ya, menurut tuh counter
these numbers?
Isia itu
And don't forget,
1
we are still
versus 1
ongoing.
laning-nya
That's
siapa?
true.
The MPLPH is already ends. That's why I think the
Ixia,
counter will skill count.
Yeah.
And
Harris
later,
bisa.
our Vavian
Roger bisa.
gonna secure
Early game
more
sih
of
tapi.
the objective because from the playstyle of Vavian,
Terus
even
apa
though
lagi
he's
ya?
using assassins, I think he's always try to aim for the objective. That's why I love him.
Dia
to be
lemah
the
ketemu
first
hero-hero
player
yang bisa ngedes ke dia
And
sih.
it's very, I like it, right? It means they're like 3 MPL ID. They're representing the top 5 Lord Security.
Gas dah, yo.
Very stable.
Tebak draft gak sih?
Game 1 though, it was Super Ken, seems like that got the better of Fabian and Lord taking. Let's see if Fabian, Leva Fave can switch things up in game 2.
Yeah, what happened? Why?
Yeah,
That's not something we normally see from Fabian.
the timing.
Tebak draft dulu nih buat kalian nih, tebak draft.
Super Ken outplaying in that department.
So let's ask the audience now. After losing game number 1, how can the red robots come back and
Gue paling
equalize
1 kali
to
match
game
lagi
to
nih,
make
gue
it a
temenin
1-1?
kalian nih, tebak draft
Right,
dulu
we'll
guys.
see. Survey says 47% pick or ban Matilda. We have 42% at mid-late.
Oke teman-teman, tebak draft.
Luke as a
Bang, di
hero
TT
and
nggak live, di TikTok
So
lagi
we're
nggak
gonna
live, kena
circle
ban.
onto that first
Yang di IG yuk, ke YT yuk,
and
langsung
then
saja tebak draft kita. Tanpa basa-basi,
Of course,
langsung
yeah,
saja
because
naik.
The priority of Matilda right now is so high. Like I said before, it's under the chip, so it's number 2 now. And using with Matilda, there's a lot of synergy that you can think about to be put on the game.
And here's the thing. I
Semoga
think this is also a
berhasil ya,
factor on
teman-teman.
why because Run Alpha they chose to go first pick. It seems like they want to go first pick to have a potential Matilda game in the second game.
But with
Or Suyo.
Bigatron and I mean technically TLID can
Rekomen
use
aja
the
atau
bans to take away the Matilda, right?
hacker,
Oh, would you go
jadi
for
hacker
Chip,
dulu
Suyo,
bro.
Matilda?
Makanya ke YT Dokter MLBB kita mau tebak draft di sana, Siu di sana.
1-1.
Tuh,
Because I think TLD gonna ban 1-1 horse.
But I don't think 1-1 is first pick material.
But they can pick it on the second and third pick.
You're right. But that's the thing though, right?
Halo
You
kok,
really
halo.
respect the hero. You really,
Ayo mending
really
tebak draft
respect
dah
the
daripada
player
banyak kecot nih. Ayo.
and the hero. You will can and you are
TikToknya ke
allowed
ban bro.
to
Iya,
ban
TikToknya ke ban anjay.
on the first phase.
Sekarang settingan bukan
For
sama
TLID,
doyok lagi.
if they're on second pick,
Sekarang settingannya sama gua guys.
Westin,
Lo lihat nih
like
tebakan gua.
compared to Suyo, Chip,
Sampai gamenya gua setting juga.
But I don't think Aaron Shiki.
Yo drafting.
we also didn't think he'd like the Ixia.
Drafting. Kita lihat dulu.
He used it.
was a monster.
Kalau
So
nggak di ban Soyunya,
ladies and gentlemen,
berarti di first pick udah gitu aja ya.
drafting phase is getting even more trickier as we get into
Wih,
it.
Matilda nggak sih Ura? Gaskan, lepas tuh Mateo.
There it is, you're right, 1-1.
Fanny, Pove, Angela, gaskan Matilda. Nah, kanan langsung ambil Yif Alpha, pasti langsung nggak dikasih bro. Kita gitu aja langsung. To the point, no basa-basi. Langsung saja lagi disusul apa? Pove nggak sih? Pove-nya di ban ya? Masih ada Hyros dong. Apakah akan keluar Faramis kah? Matilda Khalid sih boleh juga nih, combo bagus. Matilda tuh bagus, Pove, Hyros, Khalid. Tapi paling oke nih sekarang Khalid nih kalau nggak ada Pove. Pove-nya kan di ban. Nah, terus kayak Nathan nggak sih? Ura, Sekiro at game-nya sama lagi nih pasti. Sama lagi nih pasti.
But remember,
Mas.
remember the Nathan, I was about to mention. The Nathan is still left open.
Apa nih
Beatron
menurut
understand
kalian nih?
its value
Khalid,
and they
Nathan
will
dari
not
ban,
let it
Matilda,
go.
Khalid,
Remember,
Nathan
this
udah
Matilda
pick,
needs to
Matilda
be
pick.
Paired
Alpha,
in with someone that can
Yif.
synergize well with her. So what junglers
Butuh
are we
hero
thinking
tebal nggak?
for
Hylos
Super
atau
King?
mau ngerik si Khalidnya?
I think one of the jungler is
Hilda kah?
And don't
Lucas?
forget about Alice from Super Can. He works with
X-Boy.
Hilda nggak sih?
Boy.
Hilda XP bro. Oh usah gimana nggak sih? Hilda, reakin Khalid. Hilda, udah Aran, Hilda aja udah pasti Hilda. Udah Hilda, Ben nih.
Hilda.
Ben jungler gak sih?
No,
Nope.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Xbox-nya oke, mantap.
With Hilda, I think he can win the matchup.
Jericho, oke, respect Widi.
On the lane. And later Hilda can go into the
Banning nggak sih?
jungler if Super Ken is using as
Matiin fighternya yang buat nge-react si Alpha.
Kuda is deny pick right now, but no Xborg. I know because Xborg is the counter of the 3 heroes that
Terus
Yeah, it seems like TLID, the 2 heroes that we
ini masih agak bingung nih gue nih.
banned out here from the side of TLID.
Ini bisa ban hero god lane-nya sih menurut gua. Apakah yang di ban Ixia kah? Supaya Lukas gak main atau enggak? Tapi ikut apa Aransiki enggak Ixia banget sih. Herit kah? Herit Ixia kah? Dua hero itu kah? Gimana menurut kalian? Dua hero itu kah? Gatot bang. Kenapa gatot bro? Gatot tuh.
That's why they need to consider about it using another Harriet,
Anjir.
and it will be a lot of.
Kenapa nggak golden-nya aja ya? Malah dimatiin gini tebal-tebalnya semua.
3 items, especially the Holy Crystal.
Herit lah kalau gitu, Siki.
So far in the playoffs,
Udah pasti bro.
That's why
Selalu Herit.
Herit
and Herit again. Ini draftnya sama kayak kemarin pak. Jadi tebakannya tuh nggak selalu sulit menurut gua.
They don't care. They don't care. It seems like they will lock in their Harith regardless.
Kalau ada Herit,
I mean technically Shaman Force
Highways masih kebuka nggak nih?
They have high waves, high ground power as well.
Udah nggak bisa lagi, ada penuh ya berarti.
Okay.
Khalid, XP, Nathan, Mateo. Paling midnya Riek, Faramis, kalau enggak main Zuxin. Terus junglernya bisa Nolan. Ya sisa Nolan doang sih, nggak ada lagi.
Oke, Zuxin, Nolan.
I forgot about the Zuxin.
Yeah, we forgot about the Zuxin because it should be priority mid laner.
Sumpah ini mau di Rafael lagi sih gokil sih. Menurut gue gokil sih kalau di react Rafael lagi sih. Menurut gue sih gacor kalau di react Rafael lagi, menurut gue gokil. Anjir bener dong. Rafa selalu sama Mateo pak. PH punya pak. Masih ada salah tapi nggak apa-apa. Masih ada salah. Terserah dah lu bilang pada mau mixing ya. Emang nih mixing nih bisa nih. Gue jelasin nanti draft-draftnya gimana. Kejadian kemungkinan terjadinya gimana, oke? Kita lihat nih. Kemungkinan terjadinya gimana nih? Gue baca dulu sekali, gue tahu siapa yang menang turtle. Ya. Oke, Pak Bos. Siapa lagi nih? Kens Bro. Siapa lagi nih? Mardan. Absen dulu.
Team Liquid ID has never lost a game 2.
Pak Bos bisa nggak bantu gue lagi nggak nih?
Can they keep it the same and go one step closer to Malaysia? Let's see. It's Bigatron Alpha versus Team Liquid ID. Round number 2.
Round 2. Hey. Take a look
Sabar,
at
turunin dulu.
Kind of giving an energy that, you know, hey, Key, I'll tell you how to play the Rafaela. And speaking of the Rafaela, I feel like, of course, again, they are going to really handle the back on the slow, anti-slow, but
Secara draft
flickers away.
I guess the prio and the Juicing is still very early on. We can see Aran putting down the pressure.
ini harusnya draft dari kanan yang megang turtle-nya nih. Harusnya. Karena masih ada Alpha, Eve, sama Rafa dan Yuda. Secara power buat sustain perang turtle-nya megang kanan. Balik lagi yang gue cerita Alpha kan. Gue megang tim Liquid kalau buat menang turtle. Pegang aja nih. Nah, peraturannya kalau Liquidnya berhasil megang turtle 1, turtle 2, terus Natanya udah berhasil dimatiin, harusnya permasalahannya beres. Ya tinggal digasin terus. Kalau tapi BTR-nya bisa bawa mid game late game, menit 14 ke atas main, ya udah berat lagi Pak. Nathan kan selalu gitu. Jadi secara draft gue megang Liquid. Oke? Langsung 2-0 Liquid. Walk gak nih? Pada walk gak nih? Pada walk gak nih? Pada walk gak nih? Buat yang di IG gue lagi live di IT Dokter MABB, YouTube Dokter MABB mampir ke sana, oke? Walk gak nih? Pada walk gak nih? Pada nge-walk gak nih? Ayo sini walk. Liquid yang menang, Pak. Ya, karena gue nggak yakin BTR ini bisa megang bawah nggak ke late game-nya dengan Nathan-nya. Tapi yang turtle udah pasti gue pegang Liquid. Oh, lihat tuh, emang enak digidik pakai Hilda, Pak. Emang enak, bro. Oke. Berhasil bener lagi. Satu bener lagi nih. Ya kan? Ya kan? Ya kan? Ya enggak? Ya enggak? Emang mixing bisa begitu, bro? Kagak bisa kan? Lanjut. Peraturannya masuk ke menit 3-an. Natanya harus di pick off. Kalau Natanya survive terus, mid game late game-nya bisa dibalikin BTR. Tapi gue nggak yakin BTR bisa nggak megangnya. Jadi kita lihat aja, Heritnya perlu digendong sekarang. Semua pada ke atas. Ya. Lihat nih, react nih, semuanya pada ke atas nih. Baik tim biru dan tim merah nih. Nah, sekarang nih, bentar lagi kalau misalnya turtle-nya di atas, Natanya pengen farming, Natanya turun ke bawah. Supposed to be-nya kayak gitu, bukan pasti jadi. Supposed to be-nya gitu. Kalau merahnya pada gigit si Nathan nih, bentar lagi, Natanya di situ perang turtle 2 dia main ke bawah. Tapi gue nggak yakin juga sih, karena Khalidnya ini nggak bisa naik ke atas karena Hildanya lagi pegang. Jadi biru ini akan nahan sebisa mungkin buat tim merah supaya nggak masuk ke area-area sini nih. Ya, dia bakal nahan-nahan di sini nih. Nah, makanya lihat gerakannya sesuai kan yang kayak gue bilang kan, diri kan. Mulai main condongnya ke atas kan, sedangkan satunya merah kan ditinggal terus kan. Nah, tapi gue nggak tahu turtle atas nanti perang, apakah bisa Khalidnya join? Kalau Khalidnya nggak bisa join, Natanya nggak bisa turun. Tapi kalau Khalidnya join, kemungkinan Natanya free farming turun ke bawah. Ya. Jadi cara baca rotasi itu kurang lebih kayak gitu teman-teman ya. Kita lihat nih, kita lihat ya. Kalau Khalidnya join atas, ya, dia baru bisa bikin Natanya turun. Tapi kalau Khalidnya tetap di bawah, Natanya akan tetap di atas. Oke, nggak bisa. Berarti Natanya di atas, perang turtle dimenangin lagi sama si tim. Sesuai lagi. React-nya ke mana? Ke atas. Heritnya dapat kill? Dapat gak? Oh enggak, selamat. Dapat gak sih tapi? Oke, gas ke atas. Ya kali bro, mixing bisa begitu. Mata gue fokus ke sini nih. Nih baca komen kalian nih. Gak bisa lah bro, matanya bisa dijelasin ya. Apa secara fluent gitu, secara apa ya ngomongnya, secara fasih, secara lancar. Lihat ya Siki ini udah mulai main nih, soalnya bareng teman. Oke, Emanya tuker, rugi, dapat dah trade atas nih. Atasnya dorong dikit, tengahnya mau didorong lagi nih. Reset dikit Fabian, farming tempat biasa, cakep. Bisa nggak? Lolos nggak? Mati begini dong bro. Waduh, pecah snowball dong. Apa pecah ini dong. Tapi Aran nuker sih, nggak apa-apa. Oke, untung cuan. Predik dong, Dok, berapa? Kalau dari draftnya ini, gue nggak yakin menit 14 end pak, soalnya late game-nya nggak terlalu strong. Tapi ini bisa end-nya menit 16-an. Prediksi gue ya, gue nggak bilang pasti. Ini bisa menit 16-an. Tapi kalau misalnya mereka Lord 1 Gold-nya beda 5k lagi, Gold 1 udah beda 4k 3k, masuk Lord 2 Gold-nya beda 5k, mungkin menit 14-15 bisa end. Gue pegang end-nya menit 15 harusnya. Feeling aja, feeling. Soalnya secara draft masih bayang-bayang abu-abu. Soalnya late game-nya nggak terlalu megang, kecuali si BTR, si Liquid bawa Nathan. Nah itu baru gue bisa ngomong menit berapa secara pasti. Tapi kalau ini masih abu-abu, karena Herit nggak terlalu sampai se-strong itu kalau di late game. Jadi gue bilang menit 14-15 ya, boleh nggak kisaran kayak gitu? Boleh nggak? Menurut kalian gimana? Oke nggak? 14 atau 15 ya? Gue itu lah, gue tembak. Feeling aja, soalnya dipegang gini gamenya. Cabut gak sih, Ran? Gila, sehat-sehat bro. Pabrik bakal pakai Kuda anjir. Aduh.
He's not stopping. He's just bonking the players of Bigatron Alpha. Look at him. I know that maybe Aran, or rather the Hilda doesn't really have an escape mechanism, or rather mobility, but the mobility is...
Hilda ini enak buat Beatrix, Pak.
That is not it. He's just handing the kill on towards Aran. That is not it at all. Meanwhile, Aran is gonna go for Eman. That about to reset now. All in on to Aran. He will lose his life. There's gonna be some kills there. Super.
Wah, balik dong. Heritnya mana? Heritnya masih tengah ya? Dorong atas gak sih? Nge-thread lagi bro, kedorong atasnya. Gua nonton dulu dari kemarin. Kenapa? Mantep ya? Ada penjelasannya kan? Maksudnya at least 70% akurat gitu. Gue nggak bilang pasti 100%. Gue bukan peramal cuy. Tapi yang gue ngomongin tuh pakai data kurang lebih hasilnya akan sama. Ngerti nggak sih? Kayak nggak ada yang bisa nembak 100% yang terjadi. Gue cuma kasih tahu gambarannya kenapa abu-abu karena lagi pakai Herit. Jadi gue bilang perkiranya menit 15 menit 15 end. Nggak mungkin Lord 1 tuh bisa tembus. Lord 2 aja menurut gue tembus nih berarti udah snowball, udah mantep banget. Normalnya udah pasti main ke Lord 3 Pak kalau udah kayak gini draftnya. Kalau soalnya high groundnya dipegang Nathan pada pam nggak sih? Jadi kayak menurut gue ya dari pola mainnya yang megang begini harusnya 14-15 coba dipaksa harusnya masih bisa. Lord 1 nggak bakal ngapa-ngapain kok.
Siege down the mid turrets that BTR has no retribution whatsoever and Fabian's gonna take that one. No.
Cara counter hierarchy dari kemarin nih, Mbak. Ya menangin awal, kitingnya lebih rapi, gitu-gitu, Pak. Mainnya harus lebih rapi. Sekarang pola mainnya tuh udah makin sempit, Pak, celah-celah kesalahannya, menurut gua. Nanti kalau Lord 2 gue nyentuh 5k, pose N-nya gede ya, Dok? Iya, itu rumusnya. Enak kan sekarang udah bisa baca kan? Jadi kayak targeting nih, kalau misalnya Lord 2 nyentuh 5k, berarti persentase 70% N bisa ditambah lagi dari draft. Tapi kalau Lord keduanya masih nyentuh 1k, 2k, atau enggak misalnya seri atau bahkan minus, nggak end, biasa Lord 3 baru penentu. Itu caranya. Jadi kita lihat dulu datanya gimana ya. Baru semakin ada data yang dikasih sama gambar ini kayak goldnya berapa, XP-nya berapa, itu makin bisa baca gua. Tim Liquid agresif banget ya, Dok. Tim Liquid memang late game-nya yang strong banget menurut gua. Thank you ya 24 penonton secara konsisten ya teman-teman ya, maksudnya thank you.
I don't know, a single pick off I feel like to get the momentum going, but Team Liquid ID, it's all about them in the mid game. But we know that Nathan will be such a menace.
Ya, kita lihat Lord 2 nyentuh 5k nggak? Kalau nggak nyentuh 5k, menurut gua susah untuk endgame. Possibility untuk endgame masih bisa ditahan sama Nathan. Jadi dipaksanya perang lagi atau nggak Lord 3. Pegang kata gue ya. Nih, makanya pakai rumus gue enak nih. Sabar lu lihat dulu di M6 Dok, semoga aja juara meski Onyx PH lagi oke. Emang ada yang di M6 kah? Habibie Malaysia ya? Lihat goldnya. Perhatiin goldnya terus. Gold tuh indikator, Pak. Gold sama draft itu akan jadi indikator dimana kalian akan tahu sekuat apa nanti si draft kalian. Dan draft lawan tuh juga jadi penentu.
Now the biggest threat towards the
Oh,
back
ya
line
kan?
of TLID is gone.
Ya kan, gara-gara ada Nathan kan pressure inhibitornya nggak kayak kemarin kan. Lihat, kalau misalnya nggak nyentuh 5K, fight-nya harus dipaksa ward lagi. Ward ketiga, atau enggak perang sekali lagi blunder baru bisa end. Gua nggak yakin bisa end nih. Ward kedua masih bisa ketahan. Menit 15-16 deh, tarik deh, sorry ya. Menit 15-16. Pokoknya patokannya gini, menit 15 atau enggak selesai ward ketiga, udah gitu aja, end baru. Tapi kalau ward ketiga nggak end, Nathan yang main. Enak ya cara bacanya begitu ya. Nih, gold kan masih 3K nih, masih biasa aja nih. Perang-perangnya jadi masih bisa balas-balasan, Pak. Nggak terlalu oning-oning banget tuh, ya kan? Tuh, ya kan? Ya kan? Bener kan? Bener kan? Beda kan sama yang rumus kemarin kan? 3K nih soalnya. Jadi agak berat. Tapi ya, gue kasih tahu nih. Tapi possibility yang menang tapi quit karena secara gold ini megang dia. Tapi nggak end game. Nggak end game, percaya gue. Pegang kata gue, nggak end game. Tapi ganas banget anjir Liquid. Masa Wepong gini sih? Ini mah Liquidnya terlalu strong anjir. Wah ini Liquidnya terlalu strong sih. Ganas banget anjir. Wah endgame dong ini mah. Bro, dipatahkan lagi gue anjir sama Liquid. Ya intinya gitu. 70% ya, gue nggak bilang pasti 100%. Anjir perangnya rapi banget. Aduh digituin. Kelas Pak Bos. Gak expect gue sama Liquid anjir. Gila lu, bagus loh perangnya berarti cara perangnya. Berarti ngekait sama ngepoknya pinter banget tadi. Karena logiknya kalau udah beda 3K doang, maksudnya lawan tuh masih bisa react. Apalagi dia pakai Nathan, jadi mulai apa ya? Kita kan sebagai ini kasih gambaran doang. Gak mungkin 100% bener Pak. 70% aja, 30% ya tergantung dari lawannya gimana, sama timnya seperform apa ya. Ya itu, kalau main Nathan solusi pressnya gimana? Lo perhatiin gerakan yang lo perhatiin gerakan tadi bro, lo perhatiin gerakan ini apa? Gerakan si Liquid bener-bener ngeriaknya cepet kan, kayak nge-track bot lane, selalu nge-track bot lane, terus kayak mainnya pun juga objek banget, dan bener-bener gak mau dikasih napas. Kalau Nathan dikasih napas terus dibawa ke mid game, late game, masuk ke menit 12 udah mulai berat, masuk menit 16 dia megang gamenya. Jadi lu jangan sampai kasih Nathan tuh peluang untuk masuk late game. Kalau udah main momen gini hantem aja. Kalau takut-takutan malah Nathannya main. Makanya diambilnya Harry gitu. Hero yang tabrak sekalian. Nabrak banget sih tapi menangnya.
No pressure whatsoever for these rookies. They're just performing. They want it. You can see it in their eyes. You can see
nabrak begini bro mainnya.
They won that M6 spot.
Jangan lupa subs ya teman-teman ya. Dari 6.700 Aduh, belum Pak. Jangan lupa teman-teman. Yang di YT di subs ya teman-teman ya. Yang di IG ke YT aja teman-teman. Lagi live di sana. Lalu nge-live ngeliatin muka lu buat apa? Gue kasih tahu nih lagi live di YT Dr. Emma BB. Lu mampir ke sana bukan ke sini.
Thank you casters.
Dari
You know in the
pintu aja.
morning, you know we all got to the talent room when we were all, you know, preparing, makeup, briefing, and so on and so forth. Somebody very confidently said
Gila, Liquid sih
it's gonna be
strong
an easy
banget.
3-0.
for TLID, right?
But now the question is 3-0
Lebih gokilnya lagi
for
kalau
who?
ikut yang menang sih.
Mr. Mirko, you're at match point. You're at match point now, my guy.
And before we go into
2-0 begini bro.
for this game,
Wala,
I think
oke
Mr. Mirko
dok.
need to chill
Iya
it
nonton
down
ke
first.
YT
We
aja.
can
Makanya
hear
gue
your
live di IG
heartbeat,
supaya
man.
kalian ke YT.
He's sweating.
Kan kalian pada nggak tahu gue ada YT.
There you go. He's still doing 3-0 at
He's
the death.
all right.
3-0.
Confirmed.
Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, you know, aside all that, TLID has been in this exact
Nah,
same
ini
position
gokil.
3 times before, and in all the 3 times
Nah,
they've
mending
been in
YT
a
ya,
super
teman-teman ya.
position, match point, they get reverse swept. Or
Update sekarang kalau buat Krip
almost reverse
ada
swept.
apa dok meta
Right?
baru?
So the
We already
question
see the
is,
pattern, right? Yeah.
exactly.
Ada apa-apa sih?
The question is, do you think
Masih
today will be
biasa-biasa aja.
different, ladies and gentlemen? Can TLID really push this momentum onto the third game or not? Or will it be the exact same story as we've seen before?
That's why I'm quoting
Match
what
kedua
Professor
BTR
Q
kayaknya
is
ini ke
saying,
bawah
like,
temponya
the first 2 game
TLID asli
TLID
banget.
gonna win,
Iya TLID-nya
but on the
nabrak
third
terus
game,
pak.
fourth, and
Akhirnya ini
fifth
3-0
game,
kan dok?
we
Kayaknya
didn't know.
mungkin deh.
But
Kalau mainnya kayak
the
gini terus
mystery.
3-0
the
pak.
mystery, because
passive.
for today I see
Jungler
a
BTR
layer of
bener-bener di
strategy
pressure
from
pak.
TLID. On the first game,
Tapi
they are using
akurasi
the Matilda
tahu gue
and the
masih 80%
Ixia
bro.
and
Baru
Hylos,
salah
and the
sekali.
second game,
Kalau itu gue pede.
they are using Rafaela. It's like they want to teach Bigatron how to play Rafaela, like Goni said before. That's why on the third game, is there any new card from them, or they just gonna like Bigatron already learned the pattern and beat them up like before?
We'll see. But remember, you know, going back to the audience survey, remember the highest percentage was on pick or ban Matilda? Bigatron did. They picked it up for themselves, and yet they still could not secure
3-0
game
lagi kah,
number
Dok?
2. So there's
Kayaknya
layers
nih,
to
kita
this,
lihat
right?
aja
There's
nih.
layers to this, and I think at this point TLID understand
Prediksi
that
PH yang bakal
okay,
nunjukin
a lot
ya.
of these teams are now going to start targeting
Dua tim PH itu bakal nunjukin taring pak. Aurora sama Fenok.
And so with the Rafaela
Lu
suddenly coming
ekspektasi
out
apa?
out of nowhere,
Tim
again,
sekuat
like you
itu.
mentioned, there's an additional layer of strategy that TLID now bring up. But let's go back to game number 2 here. Let's break it down for the audience.
Honestly, seeing game number 2, it's again, it's the real world manipulation as well.
Bang, cara
effect.
rotasi
And also,
lagi
let's not
gimana?
forget Iran. He knows
Mending ke
why the
YT
draft
semuanya gue
was
bahas di sana
explored
daripada
and
gue baca
being banned
satu-satu
in the
pusing
second
pak.
phase. It was to force
MVP-nya siapa?
assassin to come out, and Iran just rocks
Aran
the
kah?
Hilda on point. And for MVP,
Fabian
for
lah.
player of the game, it is still Flavor Fave.
Fabian Acu.
Very stable performance, I have to say.
Presented to you by the
Fabian
official
Acu.
smartphone Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. But I gotta say,
Fabian,
the
Fabian,
reason
kelas,
he was
kelas,
able to
kelas.
get this much space,
Guys yang di IG pindah ke YT
pressure
teman-teman.
that the Iran had on the Hilda was immense, even from the early portion of the game. Here we're seeing it in under 1 minute, by the
Bang
way.
suka film horor
Sure, he
gak?
dies
Agak
here,
bro.
but he buys a lot of time for Fabian to
Makanya
continue
kalau gue punya PC gue mau main game horor deh. Lucu deh kalau lihat gue main horor. Gue kalau main game horor
That's the
itu
playstyle of
takut.
Hilda.
Nonton film horor takut. Tapi ke rumah hantu nggak takut. Aneh kan?
Jungler, but you know what's different?
Bingung nggak tuh?
Between Alpha from the first game and the second game?
What?
On the first
Aneh loh
game,
bisa
the
gitu ya?
Alpha is always aim for Aaron Shiki. But on the second game,
Gue main game horor takut. Nonton takut. Ke rumah hantu nggak takut.
A different agenda from the side of the TLID, and also the casters mentioned about the spell that the XP laner of Iran of that Hilda. Why vengeance? Remember, they have the Rafaela. So yeah, revitalize good, but with the Rafaela. Yeah, now Iran can explore other spells. Vengeance seems to fit perfectly.
Kata lucu dok. Apa kata lucunya bro? Lu mau lucu apa?
I don't know. Me personally, I'm not an analyst, but I feel like sprint would be great for the early
Ke
game.
rumah hantu bareng-bareng
But
teman
towards the end of the
pasti.
game, the way that Iran is able to be so aggressive, look at the way that he's positioned all the time.
Ditabrak.
I think
Pasti
the
ngakak bareng,
the
bukannya
choice that he
takut.
went for vengeance just made a lot more
Iya
sense.
bisa jadi sih.
here, sprint, it's
Mari
different
kita
from
nunggu
us.
pakai
With
muka dulu deh.
early game,
Jadi
but you want
kalian
to
dukung
make
siapa
sure
nih?
all
Menurut
the
kalian kan
opponents
dukung
are
siapa
early game.
teman-teman?
And you need
Menurut
to make
kalian
sure
kan
that
dukung
the game
siapa?
is not over 40 minutes.
Right.
But with vengeance, the purpose is like you need to be the sustainability. You need to be the frontliner to throwing the resources from your opponent.
Jadi menurut
That's
kalian
why
dukung siapa
Hilda as
teman-teman?
XP laner, I more agree if he use the vengeance.
And it worked really well. We saw it happening in the early portion of the game up until the end of the game. It was more longevity that he was searching for. But remember, the pressure that he was able to portray onto the members that he
udah
did
dulu ya,
was
kita
also
ke YT
because
ya teman-teman
the
ya
gold
intinya.
laner worked as well. I think in the past
apa
few
gua biarin aja?
games, past few matches, I don't know if it's a pilot problem.
Halo dok,
but
ke
the
YT
Herald
dokter
usually
MABB teman-teman.
Like the idea that
Udah
the Herald wins
6.700
a
belum?
lane against the Natan is supposed to be
Belum
true.
dong,
And this
aduh,
time,
susah
we saw that
banget ya.
Aaron Shiki was able to bully the Natan, and so they just left him alone, right? They continued to put pressure on the other lanes instead.
6.700
He got the
kelas.
space to farm. Why Aron? Every time Aron invades, minimum 3 members of Bigger
Senang
Draw is
banget
on to take him down. Because if not, Super
Ada
Ken
BTR Arif dok.
is
BTR lagi
going
main
to
Rif. Lu
feel
nggak
the
main?
pressure. And with 3 members on
Yang mau
Aron,
nonton
Aron
ke
just
live
bought
YT dokter
time
MABB biarin
for
aja dok. Ini
Aaron Shiki
yang dari
to
tadi
active and farm
dari
in
IG
the
pada
gold
pindah
lane
ke YT
with say
soalnya.
yes.
Iya pada
say
pindah ke YT
greedy
dong teman-teman.
and give,
Serius, live-nya
Aaron
di sana,
Shiki the space
bukan
that
di
he
sini.
needs. Take a look at the gold
Ya.
distribution here.
Ngalir nih.
It's
Emang kalau di
very,
IG tuh selalu
very
ngalir pasti.
clear that
Live-nya
Aaron
di
Shiki
YT
had a
dokter
splendid
MLBB
farming time.
I love your
teman-teman.
explanation, Johnny. Because when 3 person is looking or aiming for your head, at least
Kalian pada
your
subs
team
di sana
will get
makanya
information.
teman-teman.
We'll get where the enemy is at, and we'll get the information what kind of resources that they already use. That's why when Aaron Shiki is free, he will punish a man on the lane and he
Gila
will
di
farm
IG 100 ribuan
at the
followers,
very
TikTok 400 ribuan.
There were
Ya teh
actually a
susah
lot of
banget
times that
nembus 10.000 aja.
Aaron Shiki, sorry.
Dibantu
Aaron
nggak
Shiki
sih?
really soloed the Natan in the lane.
Ke YT ya gue rajin-rajin nge-live pak.
And it's clear already from that. That is why Team Liquid ID, they understand how to play their Hilda properly in their composition, right? I believe it's because of the Zushin pick. The Hilda is more confident to go for the invades. Because let's say if there's a mid lane that can burst the Hilda down, different story. Definitely different story. And that's why, okay, Zushin you can counter, you can knock Hilda up, but then you can run away. Simple. That's why Aron understands that, hey, you can't really burst me. Nolan, he's under farm. Moreno on a hero that is not burst type of mage, and yeah, Aron exploited that fact.
That's why the meta right now is like it's not for the burst mid laner. It's for like the utility mid laner, and Hilda is very comfortable when facing against the
Guys, tapi
utility
kayaknya
laner.
gue udahan dulu deh. Gue bentar lagi pergi
That's
soalnya.
the point where Hilda comes
Soalnya ini
out,
masih lama
by
juga.
TLID. And
Besok
I think
gue lanjut lagi
there's
lah. Sekaligus
not
gue
a
juga
lot
belum
of
makan
people
sih
knows
teman-teman.
how to counter Hilda. So,
Ya, thank you
after
banget
the
udah
draft pick, I
nonton
got a
nemenin
chance
ya.
to, like talking with Age.
Besok gue
is the
pasti gue live
coach
tapi.
from
Oke.
Evos.
Yeah.
And he said that he's facing Hilda a couple times during
Soalnya
the
gue ada
sprint,
urusan
and
pak.
it's
Abis ini gue ada
really
urusan.
giving him a very hard time. Until he is banning Hilda on the first banning phase.
Wow.
That's the problem is here. When you want to counter Hilda, you need to use like a damage dealer XP lane. And if you use the damage dealer XP lane, you cannot like sustain very long during the team fight. But if you want to be
Damage dealer
like picking the
XP lane aja
sustainable
belum tentu
heroes,
counter
Hilda will
Hilda.
happily facing them. That's why maybe
Exactly.
there's one heroes that really sustainable and can face against Hilda.
Apa?
I think it's
Nyrod.
Glue, but Glue against a fighter with true damage like Alpha, is it gonna work?
Yeah, that's a question. That's a question, and I feel like this is why Hilda is such an underrated pick, especially in this type of composition, in this type of meta. And I think TLID, they are ahead. They know.
Udah guys,
on
gue
why
cabut dulu.
Hilda
Thank
is
you
such
and
an
see you guys on the
underrated
next
pick.
live
But
lagi
if
ya.
I'm not mistaken, the Hilda lost
Ada
one
urusan soalnya.
against RQ.
Bye bye.